Hello guys, in today's video we will be taking a look at at a scenario where the UK forms an empire. So I'm not going to too much detail about this, but I'll be painting the UK in red and is it these ones or these ones. Just go with this. Okay, so here we have the UK fully colored in red. I will be using red for every entire video I do. But start off, we have the UK will be declaring war on Ireland. So whenever an empire declares a war on a country, it'll be colored in blue. And here, British troops will storm into the country, quickly taking the capital, as Ireland pretty much doesn't put up a fight at all. And we're talking about the number 5 power in the world. I believe it's 5. Someone correct me if it isn't. But they will storm through the country and quickly capture it all. And we just see full, oops, we see full annexation. And all this can just go away. Okay, so now the British Isles are under one country. Who will, who will the UK invade next? Also, for scenarios like this, I won't be factoring in organizations like NATO, just for simplicity's sake and to make it more fun. The next country that the UK will declare war on is going to be Belgium. And we see the UK making a small naval landing over on the coast, and they will still be able to quickly push through country and eventually get to it. Here, where here, Belgium is fully captured, and here we have almost full annexation. Belgium will remain in this little bit here, but the rest of this all will go over to the UK. The next country that the UK declares a war on will be the Netherlands. I think the Netherlands owns this little bit of land here. Someone corrects me if I was wrong on this. But we have Belgium being used as a staging ground. Here, the Netherlands is the strongest country that we have that the British have faced so far. So they will put up a bit more of a fight. but will still be able to be fully captured. You then see certain someone here is going to join in on this war. What is going? Okay, but Germany will invade into the northern parts of Netherlands, and the two countries split it to something like this. And here we have something similar to what happened over here, where the Netherlands will still remain just very slightly. And we see Germany. Germany will take all of this land here. So Germany gets this. Actually, first going to look at these. What the heck? And then here I'll fully put the rest of this control and new border. I don't have this. Oh, wait, I do. The, the border between the two countries. Something like this. The three countries, actually. Alright. So, this is the new. Oh. Alright, this is the new border. I just gotta fix this up real quick. Alright. So, we have the Netherlands and Belgium look like this, and the British Empire here, and I guess the German Empire, the new German Empire. But since they're no longer being talked about in this, they will just be recolored as sweet. It's off white. The next country we see the UK going after is actually going to be France. These two have long been enemies, and just because French Guiana is just going to be into this. So here we have the UK versus France, and of course, one certain country is going to rejoin the war. Yeah. So we have a four-way war here. Denmark and France aren't really at war with each other, and the UK and Germany aren't at war. But the UK and Germany both are at war with Denmark and France. It's a, wait, I'm just gonna give Denmark these islands up here. This is going to take a second. I'm just gonna color it in. Okay. And the UK will get these islands here. They will also get these islands up here. Technically, it is because it is part of Denmark. I'm just going to put Greenland in this. Okay. For the actual wars, we'll first see the UK invading to France, coming through Belgium, kind of taking the German tactic. But they will also make a landing here and in Brittany. I think this is Normandy. It's either right here or right here. Maybe right here. That's Normandy. I don't remember though. But we'll also see Germany make a landing, or not a landing, but we'll invade it here. Germany will mostly focus on Denmark though, as they invade north. This is focusing on the UK in this episode. And we then see the UK invade into these islands up here, capturing them all fairly soon. But the UK will make a landing right in this that little area there. They'll then continue their invasion spree into they'll then continue their invasion spree into France and will connect up all three of their lands. Alright, and then capture all of Brittany, and Paris will soon fall. And see Germany coming in and taking all of this. And Denmark will also surrender. Alright. The UK will get all of this land here, and this wee bit of land. And then they also get this here, and this here. And no more borders here. And let's see. Germany will get this island, and this island, as well as here. And just gonna quickly remove this border. Okay. Oh yeah. In Germany, we'll also get this land down here. Alright. As for France and Denmark, they will be given just what's left. Alright. Okay. Now, the UK will be declaring war on the rest of the Netherlands and Belgium. And France, yeah. It stays. Right now, there really hasn't been any forces stopping the UK or Germany. But we see, we see Germany, or Germany, that's, we see the UK invade into Denmark, or not Denmark. They will claim all of it. They will take all that and do the same here. And um, it's just very simple. Full annexation for the rest of both of their lands. Of course, move the border. And now time for quote unquote, well, kind of, sort of War of the Greats. But before any of that can happen, coalition time. Okay, France, Spain, Poland, Nordics, Denmark, Czechia, Austria, Italy, Lithuania. Okay, the rest of the Baltics. Okay, so we pretty much have most the rest of Europe declaring war these two. On these two. So what are they gonna do? They're obviously going to make an alliance themselves. So since this is the case video, Germany will just become this darker red. Maybe someday, Germany. Maybe someday you'll have your own. But with this, we see the two countries push into France, focusing in into France first, and they quickly be able to swiftly be able to recapture Paris, and France pretty much falls off to this. Um, just real quick. Alright, But uh, that all belongs to Germany. We then see just Germany. They invade into Denmark, capturing Copenhagen Island, and Denmark surrenders after this. Next, I'm going to show German front and the British fronts as different. So, this darker red is Germany invading, and the brighter red is the UK. UK will get there pretty much the last little bit of France, and and about here, France just kind of is not doing anything anymore. However, the two of them aren't very lucky in this region, as Poland and pretty much the rest of these countries that are fighting will join it. But we also see Ukraine, Romania, Slovakia, Hungary, Slovenia, Croatia, and Moldova all join in, as well as Finland in the north. So now we got pretty much most of NATO, other than North America, Germany, non-exist countries that are captured or don't exist anymore. And the UK are not in this, and then some of the countries in the Balkans, as well as Portugal. So against these two, it's a decently ish fair fight, but we also see the Balkans, pretty much these four, five countries here, as well as Italy, invading into Germany from the south, and somehow here Switzerland is trailing amidst all this, as well as Luxembourg. But the front over here is going to get a little bit further before German troops finally arrive, pushing back almost all the way to the border. German troops are a little late to arrive here, though, and they only push back a little bit. However, where German troops have more success is down here as they continue and invade almost entirely on Switzerland, starting to get into Italy, and we see a lot of Italian troops retreating to defend the whole way. Italian troops make most of this, so they lose a lot more here. And then it kind of gets to Austria. Then see Germany making an invasion into Czechia, and in some areas they will be able to make slight incursions into Poland. They will then be able to make a landing off in Sweden and move their way up into Norway. They they don't get all that. They capture Oslo. They already have all this. Let's leave this in here. they capture Oslo, and then Norway's starting to cripple already. And we then see Germany being able to fully push out all troops from in their territory. And this is with reinforcements from the UK. We actually see Portugal join this war, and because of this, a lot of Spanish troops that are up in here will retreat, and the UK and Germany are able to pu- push back quite a bit. German troops do enter a little bit more into Italy, and now they push further into Poland. They capture more areas along the coast and start forming a spearhead down to Warsaw. It's not Warsaw. They'll then send more troops out to make another spearhead, and will then instead circle up around these troops. These troops here contain which all the Baltic troops that were sent out and all the Ukrainian troops, as well as now like, some more Moldovan troops and Romanian troops. So this is a lot of troops here, and they start getting encircled. Right? Outside countries try pushing against in, but they won't see any success. The encircled troops will try will also try pushing out, but they see no success either, and eventually they're fully they're all just wiped out. We finally see Portugal invading in, and as Spanish troops are still arriving, they are relatively easily able to push in to most of Spain, and they capture Madrid and the area surrounding it, and Spain is out of the war. Then we then see the UK or France surrendering to the UK, and German troops will now invade into further into Italy as British troops are starting to come in as reinforcements. Portuguese troops will finally make a landing in Sardinia, and this is not going too well. Pretty much all of Western Europe, aside from Norway, and maybe if you consider Italy, Austria, pretty much like all of Europe is under the red team. And here we see a new, once again, a new person joining the war. This purple color. And Russia. Let's see, Russia joined the war on their own side for a personal gain. And I'm going to kind of create, or use this what I last saw, or roughly what I last saw of what was currently going on here. Look, it looks something like this. This is just go with. I'm gonna make it a little bit darker. I'm also gonna make the mainland a little bit darker. Okay, this is gonna be what they already have, and they'll continue invading from here. As this front line was kind of paused, Ukraine didn't have too much soldiers here, and we also see Belarus joining the war on the side of Russia, because why wouldn't they? So here we see Belarusian troops start entering into Ukraine. They're to focus on Ukraine. And with this, Ukraine will leave the war and become yellow. Show that they're still in a war. It's just not the same as the war that's going on over here. Seeing as Ukraine has left this war, pretty much everyone's going to surrender. I'm just going to, I'm going to use the UK's colors. But Italy surrenders. And Poland surrender. Norway and Sweden surrender. The Baltics all surrender. Finland surrenders. And it's just a crippling domino effect. And pretty much everyone surrenders. So let's take a look at this peace treaty here. For here, we'll get all this land in France. Germany will get the rest of Denmark, minus Greenland, which will just be released as its own country. Germany will also get this land here, this land, this land, and these lands. And Portugal will get this land here. Let's remove the borders. and the UK. Let's see. Here. Okay, back to color and scroll differently for this, for the title, or thumbnail. But here is the final map of what if the UK formed an empire. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.